pulled off one of the boldest jailbreaks in hip-hop history. Against all odds, the Chicago rapper, known for his loyalty and street ties, broke free from Miami's prison and made a slick exit from the country. Now fans and critics are buzzing with rumors flying about his next move and where he might be hiding out if Durk really managed to dodge the feds and find a new hideout. It's about to be one of the wildest twists rap has seen in years. Stay tuned, because this story is only heating up. Escape from Miami. Lil Durk's escape plan was almost like something out of a movie. When his only the family crew members were arrested for a supposed murder-for-hire plot, Durk knew he had to act quickly. With federal agents likely closing in, he decided on an escape strategy meant to keep investigators guessing and buy himself enough time to slip away unnoticed. Instead of just booking one flight, he went for a more complex approach: multiple international tickets to create a confusing paper trail. According to sources, Durk didn't moves to outsmart the tracking him. First, he booked 2 commercial flights, one to Dubai and another to Switzerland. Why these places? Dubai doesn't have an extradition treaty with the US, which would make it harder for agents to bring him back if he managed to get there. Switzerland, with its neutral stance, could have been a safe place to lay low. But here's the twist: he didn't actually plan to take either of those flights. They were a smoke screen meant to throw off anyone following his trail, digitally or physically. The real plan, it turned out, lay in a private jet. This third ticket was for a private flight to Italy, where he might have hoped he could settle under less scrutiny. A private jet would allow him to avoid the usual checks and scrutiny that come with commercial flights, making it a far smoother escape option. Durk likely thought that by the time agents caught on to his Dubai or Switzerland flights, he'd be long gone, flying in comfort to Italy and out of the country's reach. But the FBI and federal agents were one step ahead. They caught on to his private jet plane just an hour before the plane was set to leave. Agents swooped in, stopping Durk before he could board and leaving his escape plan land grounded. He believed this was a calculated move to slip through federal oversight, but agents were well aware of his every move. The agency's work tracking him across various jurisdictions shows the level of coordination they committed to this case, likely monitoring his digital reservations and cross-referencing any travel plans in real time. Durk was banking on the idea that the commercial flights to Dubai and Switzerland would keep agents occupied while he made his real exit through a more discreet private jet. In the end, U.S. Marshals intercepted Durk before he could board the bound jet. They arrested him in Florida on Friday, October 25, charging him with conspiracy related to allegedly planning a hit on fellow rapper Quando Rondo. As of now, Durk is being held without bail. He's facing allegedly setting up an operation that led to the death of Quando Rondo's cousin Savia Robinson. If convicted, he could be looking at the maximum punishment that federal law allows: life in prison. For Durk, this outcome would mean trading the stage and his freedom for a federal prison cell. It's a stark shift for someone who spent years building his career and reputation, only to now face accusations that could strip it all away. Attorney Martin Estrada didn't hold back in his official statement on the case. Estrada described the crime as cold-blooded. The crime didn't just impact the intended target. According to Estrada, it endangered innocent bystanders by happening in a public space, a gas station at a busy intersection. Estrada was clear about how the justice system views violent crimes like this, especially when they threatened entire communities, saying that they had zero tolerance for those who commit such callous acts of violence. Reports suggest that Durk's legal team is preparing for a strong defense, aiming to prove his innocence and refute the conspiracy charges. While Durk, tough battle ahead. The legal process can be daunting in cases like this where the federal government is involved and the charges carry such heavy penalties. Durk's potential life sentence looms over him, and it's not just about the time he could serve, it's about his legacy, career, and his future. With his family facing life in prison would mean an end to everything Durk has built outside of music as well. For someone who came up through tough circumstances and made a name in the music world, these charges threaten to erase the progress he's made over the years. The feud that put Lil Durk and his crew OTF in hot water all started with a tragedy on November 6, 2020. On that night, King Von, Durk's close friend and OTF rapper, was shot outside a club in Atlanta. Reports say that an associate of Quando Rondo pulled the trigger, quickly turning the brawl. And for Durk, this wasn't just about losing a friend, it felt deeply personal. After King Von's death, rumors started swirling that Durk wanted revenge. According to the authorities, he allegedly put a bounty on Chu's life in response. Fast forward nearly 2 years to August 19, 2022, and things took a deadly turn in Los Angeles. That night, multiple OTF members supposedly tracked and ambushed Quando and his crew at a gas station. They reportedly pulled up in 2 vehicles and fired over 18 shots at Chu's car, hitting and killing his cousin who was traveling with him. Now Durk, along with 4 other alleged co-conspirators, is facing some serious charges. The list includes murder for hire and conspiracy to commit murder for hire leading to death. Prosecutors claim the hit was financed with money connected to Durk and OTF, showing just how high stakes and organized this was. The plan itself, according to investigators, was like Something out of a movie. 5 people were just the day before the shooting. Durk supposedly warned the associate booking the flights to keep things low-key, saying, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." It's clear Durk didn't want anything traced back to him or OTF, but authorities say the trail led right to their door. The FBI had been building this case against Durk for years, and this latest incident was the final piece they needed to lock it down. They'd been so committed to uncovering the full story that they even planted an informant within his crew, someone who fed them all the crucial details. With this insider information, the FBI finally had everything they needed to make their move. Lil Durk went from having the biggest year of his career to facing what might be the toughest time of his life. Earlier this year in February, he reached new heights, winning his first Grammy and writing the success of his hit song All My Life with J. Cole on the Billboard Hot 100. But fast forward to now, and he's now sitting in a charges. One of the biggest storylines around his arrest involves rumors that someone close to him, an affiliate named OTF Jam, may have betrayed him. Rumors started circulating that OTF Jam, who's been a part of Durk's Only the Family crew, snitched on the rapper Wack 100 and DJ Academics, have even gone on record claiming that Jam had been secretly gathering information for the police while staying close to Durk. Academics even revealed that he knew the feds were looking into the rapper for a while. Wack recently shared that he did 12 years, got out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, and gave him $50,000. He said that Durk had been loyal to Jam, but even though he had no smudge on his name and had never been a rat or caught a gun case, eventually OTF Jam Flip Vlad revealed that he had allegedly been wearing a wire for the last 2 years. Chicago rapper King Yella also said that he'd heard from someone inside OTF that it was specifically OTF Jam who gave Durk up. In fact, multiple blogs and media sources report that Jam's name is in the indictment, as a shows OTF Jam with a wire around Lil Durk, capturing a moment in a dimly lit room where Durk, Jam, and a few others seem to be talking to another group over the phone. While most people in the room seem relaxed, Jam stands out looking uncomfortable and out of place. The video has only intensified the talk that Jam may have been working with law enforcement and snitched on Durk, adding another layer to this story. There are also rumors suggesting that Durk retaliated after discovering Jam's alleged betrayal. Some sources claim Durk had OTF Jam's child's mother killed as payback for Jam supposedly wearing a wire. Authorities have been building a case against him for over 2.5 years. If they manage to now convict him, the rapper could be looking at the end of his career. As part of the case the FBI against Lil Durk, they focus closely on past incidents where he was allegedly involved in violent activities. These incidents became crucial evidence, helping federal agents piece together a larger picture they believed would bring him down. In 2016, Lil Durk found himself facing serious legal trouble stemming from a raid on his apartment 2 years earlier. During the search, police discovered 2 .45 caliber pistols while looking for a first-degree murder suspect, since Durk was already on probation from a 2013 incident where he'd allegedly tossed a gun into his car. As officers approached, this new discovery threatened to bring his career and personal life to a halt. The charges were heavy. Durk faced 12 counts of being a felon in possession of a firearm, a situation that could have had major. Prosecutors claimed he'd violated his probation, which would mean severe repercussions. With so much on the line, Durk admitted he felt nervous, but he stayed firm in his belief that the truth would prevail. He had a strong ally in his lawyer Sam Adam Jr., whom he praised publicly for his dedication to the case. In a key decision, the judge found that Durk hadn't technically violated his probation. Even if Durk knew the guns were in his residence, he hadn't had possession and control over them, which meant he wasn't legally responsible for the firearms in that context. Finally, in a huge win for Durk, the charges were officially dropped, giving him the green light to focus on his career and family. Relieved and grateful, Durk took to Instagram thanking his lawyer and celebrating his freedom. He quickly returned to his music, releasing Lil Durk 2X and using his platform to report causes like the Black Lives Matter movement. But that wasn't the end of it. Durk's time under the FBI's watchful eye over he himself in court again in 2019 for a probable cause hearing tied to a shooting incident that went down outside the Varsity in downtown Atlanta. The incident took place on February 5 early in the morning, and according to an Atlanta police detective, Durk was allegedly caught on video firing at a man while driving. During the hearing, the judge found probable cause to charge Durk and his co-defendant Devontae Bennett with multiple charges, including possession of a firearm and criminal intent to commit murder. Detectives testified that a witness reported seeing Banks and Bennett outside a cigar bar around 5 a.m. that morning, where a fight broke out in a nearby car. At that point, according to the detective, Banks allegedly pulled out a gun and shots were fired. The prosecution argued that the incident was gang-related, suggesting that Durk and Bennett, who have connections to Chicago gangs, targeted the victim because he was carrying $30,000 in cash, a expensive car. However, when questioned, the detective admitted odd aid he couldn't find solid evidence linking this particular event to gang activity. There was even some back and forth about who might have fired the first shot, with the victim Alexander Weatherspoon potentially being armed himself. In court, Durk's attorneys worked to cast doubt on whether he was actually involved in the shooting. Questioning the detectives claimed that Banks was seen firing a weapon. One of Durk's attorneys asked if They actually saw Banks shooting on the street at any time, the detective confirmed, saying that he didn't, referring to footage that allegedly showed Durk already inside a camouflage Jeep when he surrendered to authorities in May 2019. He had confidently told a local news station that he had nothing to hide and nothing to run from, asserting his innocence from the start. The official motion to dismiss explained that the facts of the case had been reviewed, and although probable cause existed for the defendant's arrest, the decision at that time was not to prosecute. Ultimately, Lil Durk was cleared of all charges, a turn of events that caught many by surprise, but what Durk didn't know was that the FBI had been monitoring him for years, quietly building a case. His activities and gathering evidence. This particular case became a piece of a much larger investigation that federal agents were constructing in a strategic move. The charges against Durk were initially dropped, likely to give him a false sense of security, allowing the FBI to continue their surveillance in hopes of gathering even more incriminating evidence later on. With mounting evidence piling up, Lil Durk may soon have to face the music. Yet could his gang connections be the key to slipping out of jail once more? Facing the music, another lawsuit has been filed against Chicago rapper Lil Durk, accusing him of involvement in the 2020 murder of fellow rapper FBG Duck, whose real name was Carlton Weekly. This lawsuit brings to light the alleged power and influence of Durk's OTF crew, a group with deep roots in Chicago's drill rap scene and reportedly connections to gang culture. FBG Duck was killed in a daylight shooting in Chicago's upscale Gold Coast neighborhood as he waited to enter Dolce and Gabbana. A group of masked men ambushed him, taking his life and injuring his girlfriend Cash Williams, along with another man, Weekly's mother Lena Weekly, and others affected by the loss. Recently filed a lawsuit claiming that Lil Durk had a role in orchestrating this attack, allegedly putting a $100,000 bounty on Duck's head. Their attorney Roosevelt Allen alleges that this bounty was part of a gang-related effort to silence Weekly after a violent years-long rivalry between the two rappers. This rivalry had played out through drill music, where FBG Duck and OTF members, including Durk, had traded intense and often violent lyrics. Drill rap has been criticized for its brutal storytelling and its connections to street violence in Chicago. In this case, the courts claimed that OTF and the major record labels supporting them like Sony and Interscope profited from this authenticity, while overlooking the deadly consequences. These labels often incentivize this criminal behavior and put profit over human life, even when it crosses the line between entertainment and real-life violence. This lawsuit names not only Durk but also OTF and their major label partners, alleging they all played a role in promoting an environment that led to FBG Duck's murder. For many, this lawsuit is another reminder of the intersection between Chicago the Chenair. Under Lil Durk's leadership, Only the Family has developed a reputation not only as a successful music collective, but as a powerful force deeply tied to Chicago street violence. OTF, which Durk founded and leads, goes beyond just a record label. It's a tight-knit group with an allegiance that's rooted in the streets. Durk's influence over OTF stretches beyond music. As CEO, he's cultivated a strong family-first mentality that reflects his loyalty to those within the group, his authority within OTF has led some to see him as not just an artist but as a leader whose decisions and orders hold weight well beyond the music scene. While Durk is respected as a rapper, his involvement in OTF has positioned him as a central figure in Chicago's drill scene, where music and street life are closely intertwined. Allegations of violence and gang activity are a constant part of OTF's image under Durk's leadership. Many of OTF's conflicts and rivalries have spilled out into the public eye with deadly consequences. For example, Durk's cousin and OTF member MacArthur Swindle, also known what is widely believed to be a gang-related attack, the killing of Nusky, who was sitting in his SUV outside a Chicago mall, exemplifies the dangers surrounding OTF members and demonstrates the level of violence that seems to follow the group. Durk himself has faced numerous legal challenges, including weapons charges and other accusations of violent behavior. The FBI and other law enforcement agencies have closely monitored OTF, building cases that link Durk and his crew to several violent incidents. For many, OTF's violent history under Durk's leadership raises questions about the line between music and reality. Drill music is known for its raw portrayal of street life, but Durk's leadership of OTF has arguably blurred these boundaries even further. As allegations of violence, hit orders, and gang affiliations continue to surface, the perception of OTF as a collective driven by street loyalty and violence only grows stronger. Durk's influence over OTF has shaped it into a group where loyalty is paramount, and for those within the organization, crossing him or betraying the crew could come with serious consequences. As federal agencies and lawsuits bring more attention to OTF's alleged criminal activity, it's clear that the group's power and influence have gone beyond music. The structure of Lil Durk's crew reflects the close-knit, loyalty-focused environment he built around his music career, but it also branches out into affiliations with other well-known groups in Chicago's street scene. OTF started as a rap collective born from the friendships and alliances Durk had within his neighborhood before he rose to fame. As Durk explained, OTF stands for Only the Family, a name chosen to signify the strong loyalty and camaraderie among